Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. I am driving home on a Sunday, and we're not talking about football. We're talking wrestling. We're talking CM Punk returning to WWE at the end of the Survivor Series War Games match last night. It's already been announced that CM Punk is going to be on Monday Night Raw. There was a lot of people kind of contemplating last night whether if CM Punk was going to be a Raw or a SmackDown guy. To me, honestly, I never really thought it was an option he would be anywhere other than Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, no matter how they have accidentally stacked the deck year after year, Monday Night Raw has always been the A show for WWE. Yes, I do know that is where the bloodline lives, as well as Roman Reigns, but year after year, you know, they've pretty much made sure that Monday Night Raw is A-list talent. Pretty much more than half the roster. I mean, the guys there, as you saw from that War Games match, were all members of the Monday Night Raw brand. I just thought that made the most sense. Why would he come out during a Raw match if he was going to go to SmackDown? To me, honestly, we'll start out this video by basically let the chips lie where they are. I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan, never have, never will be. I always kind of really liked him until I met him, I believe, in SummerSlam 2012, and he just didn't really seem like he was that excited to take a picture with me, meet me. It was at, WrestleMania. It was at SummerSlam Access in Los Angeles. Maybe it was hot. Maybe the sun was on him. But basically, you buy the VIP, ticket when they come on sale. You get in the line. I was one of the last people to meet him that day because of the fact that I think that was the year me and Miguel got there, honestly, really, really late. I'm not 100% sure. We were coming from San Diego, and there was like a triathlon or something like that really kind of blocked us from getting out of San Diego to get onto the freeway to, blaze down and get to the access thing. But I was easily one of the last 5 people to meet him, and he just didn't really seem like he really wanted to be there, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. He was one of the biggest stars that there was in wrestling. I had met a lot of the other guys that I really respected and liked watching, and none of them really seemed like, I was a bother to be there. I know that he made some reference to treating him like a zoo animal. If you didn't want to do the thing, don't do the thing. I mean, that's just basically how it is. It's like when MJF said he wasn't going to do Starrcade, the autograph thing a few years ago. They basically just refunded everybody, and it was what it was. But I've met Punk since then at C2E2 in 2020 when I went to Chicago. He was signing for Pro Wrestling Tees. I was, just trying my best to make sure that it wasn't a bad situation. Maybe because he was in his hometown. Maybe because he likes the guys from Pro Wrestling Tees. It went well, but I felt like I was walking on eggshells. I was sitting there in the line with Ravi and Pinko. I was practicing what I was going to do, what I was going to say. I ended up talking to him about good places to go eat in Chicago. I didn't ask him anything about wrestling. I don't know anything about UFC. I don't know. And even we were waiting in line, and somebody made fun of me because I asked the question, when we go up there, do we shake his hand? Do we give him a fist pump? What kind of guy is he? That's how bad it was. I just wanted it to go so easy that that was bad too. But he's kind of like the Ultimate Warrior to me, honestly, where it's Warrior kept on getting welcomed back to WWE time after time after time, and even another company thought that if they brought him in, it could change what people's viewing habits were at the time, even though we hadn't seen warrior in the WWF make any kind of relevance in years. Eric Bischoff brought him into Nitro to have a match against Hogan, thinking that it would spark something from WrestleMania 6, an event that had easily taken 10 years, maybe even plus in the past. But then again, like Nitro, WCW, they kind of really hit this kind of like nostalgia kick, where all the guys from that Vince thought he couldn't get any more out of, Piper, Hogan, Macho Man, they had come over. They were able to, do big events for the company. Piper and Hogan did Starrcade, I believe, 2 years in a row. Macho Man had won the championship for them a few times, had a really solid, 95, 96 run for them. And then kind of fell into this, like, he's a big deal, he's a big name, but he never really got past the mid-card. And when he would win the championship, he would only hold it for a night and end up always dropping it back to Hulk Hogan the next night on Nitro. One of the worst streaks of all time for any champion. But to me, honestly, that's kind of like where CM Punk is now. You go back and you watch the build-up to the Moxley versus Punk match. I almost called him Ambrose there, but I didn't. And Moxley was basically saying, like, get your fill of CM Punk while you can. He's not going to be here long. He doesn't have the mind for this place. His ego's too big. His body can't handle being in AEW and wrestling constantly. And I think all three of those things ended up being true right off the bat. I mean, didn't even have to wait for them to happen. It just was like, bam, and we're there. Punk is definitely, I really battle with this. There's no doubt in my mind he's either going to be the first or he's going to be the last. And it's like, if that's all you care about, that's all you need to watch. Have the show on when the show goes live. And in my instance, it's 5 o'clock. If not, be at your TV at 10:40 and just wait for him to come. And I don't know. I mean, they're not going to use him any other place. He's got to get that kind of like sit down speech that he gave back in 2011. The promo that kicked off the cult of personality style of CM Punk, of being able to pipe bomb people with the microphone. He's definitely going to get his time, and he's definitely going to be able to go out there and basically say whatever he needs to say. Is he going to go after Seth because of the stuff Seth Rollins said at the video games thing a few years ago, where he was basically saying that CM Punk was an asshole and nobody liked him, and he was surprised that people knew that. He didn't want him to come back. He wanted him to stay in AEW because it made everybody's life there a whole lot easier. Is he going to want to have to go after Cody Rhodes? Because maybe he's going to say that Cody Rhodes tucked his tail in and ran. Pretty much the time that he came into AEW, he didn't want to, be around him, so he left and took his ball and went to WWE, had the match against Rollins, and has kind of been like the main guy since then. Definitely CM Punk wants to be, the WrestleMania main event. He wants to be in that spot that, I don't even want to say anybody other than Roman Reigns is. I mean, like, when was the last WrestleMania that Roman Reigns didn't main event? I guess it would be 36, because he wasn't there. 30, shit, I can't remember WrestleMania 35. I can tell you, like, the main event of, like, WrestleMania 1 through 22, 23, 20, the 20s is when they start getting a little weird for me. I know what happened. I just really can't tell you which one that happened at sometimes. But, I mean, like, WrestleMania 35 throws me for a loop. That one is the right answer. Or is that 29? Shit. That's the one where the girls fought? It's 29, right? No, that was 34. 34, 35. That's 35. 35, New York, main event was Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda. That would be the last one, I guess, that he was at that he didn't main event. That's the spot that he wants to be in. He wants to be the main guy. He wants to take the ball and carry it and have everybody pat him on the back and say, thank you very much, Mr. Punk. You are the man. From here, I think that AEW, they can just hope that time bomb, explodes. The sooner it explodes in WWE, not on their watch, the better they look for what they did, because everybody right now is immediately pointing at the Young Bucks. They're pointing at Jungle Boy. They're pointing at Tony Khan, basically saying that you ran this guy out of the company, even though he's like the biggest star that you guys have. They're not really thinking about what Moxley, what Jericho, what the Young Bucks has done for the company, and then what stars they're building that support that company as well. They've got a lot of guys in the mid-card that definitely, once they take that step to being in the main event, they're going to matter. Though the hardest thing for them is that company is built kind of like WCW, that it's kind of hard to cross that line and consistently stay in that main event spot. I think one of the things that's really helped Jericho stay there is he's not scared to go down and do a job for like a mid-carder, kind of making that mid-carder guy mean something for the moment. But then how many times you see those guys in mid-card or even lower mid-card roles just vanish? They've got storylines, they've got factions that seem to dissolve with nothing tying up the loose ends. Guys start new factions with feuds from old factions, and it's like, how did these guys get together? This really doesn't make any sense. That's just me. That's just how I follow along what's going on. But to me, I really want to see Punk versus Cody. That's what I want to see more than anything else. Punk versus Rollins seems like the most automatic, because I think that no matter how much Rollins hates anybody, Rollins will do business with anybody. I got a chance to listen to Observer Radio, first time, long time, today with Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer. And Brian hit the nail right on the head the minute that the show started. First thing he said, for the people who jumped on for Black Friday, for the $3.99 for the first month, they got their money's worth. That was a show that I wanted to hear, big time. And I lost out by not paying that damn $3.99. I haven't subscribed to the Observer in a long time, but I mean, the first thing that show ended was like, man, I can't wait to hear what Brian and Dave say. And basically say what they know. Meltzer basically said that no matter how anyone acted after the match, they all knew that CM Punk was there. They all knew that CM Punk was going to come out. He said that he thought that Seth Rollins was basically a work to set up an angle. In his eyes, I think that he thinks that's the match that's going to happen. Drew McIntyre, in my mind, I thought that he ran out of there. It looked like he was holding his eye the whole time. Maybe he just got hurt. But Dave said something to the effect of he thought that McIntyre was upset that Punk came in. This is a guy honestly looking for a contract. In my mind, from what I hear, it kind of sounds like WWE wants to sign him, but they don't want to give him the bag that he deserves after carrying that company and being a main event guy. It's kind of writing on the wall. They don't want him to be that spot that he was in between WrestleMania 36 and 37. Yeah, you main evented, you held the championship, you beat Brock Lesnar at the WrestleMania inside the Performance Center, you rocked the Thunderdome, you sold that thing out each and every night, but that's not what they're looking for right now. They want him to be a high, mid-card, main event kind of fill-in guy that they have, like, sitting on the sidelines in case anything goes wrong. And he kind of sees himself as being like the main event guy. I think he goes to AEW. He'll be hot right off the first show. And then shortly after that, he goes to the back of the line, just basically fighting for time on one of the 3 shows they have. But to me, honestly, it looked like he needed to get his eye checked out. Maybe he took a shot to the eye. Maybe something got in there and he just needed to get out of there. And he knew how much time he had before the big CM Punk thing and didn't want to ruin it. But he also said that this deal came together about 10 days ago. Vince McMahon didn't have anything to do with it. It was Mr. Khan, WWEs guy, that basically said that this deal was going to get done. Everybody kept quiet about it, but the people who needed to know knew. Just weird time in the world of professional wrestling, man. Weird shit. But Punk is back. Monday Night Raw is going to be huge. Like I said, there's a chance it could be the first thing. And you don't want to miss it, especially if you're already home. But, dude, if he doesn't come out first, I say like 20 minutes left in that hour on that show, make sure you're there. Something big's going to happen.